Hi, everyone. This is Carol Watson. I'm the Chief Thriver at Thrive.com. And thank you for joining us on our first live Thrive Talk. We're here to welcome Gabriela Alcantara-Diaz. Please excuse my R's, I keep trying. But we're excited to have her here. And I wanted to first set up what this experience is going to be because it may be new for many of you. Hopefully you've had a chance to see our site and get some sense of the experience. We're here to help and create an environment where people can thrive in their career and providing them really great content and a very great interactive experience to ask the questions that you're really interested in and get the answers that you want and create a really strong community. So Thrive Talk is designed to be a weekly live interactive experience. And what that means is that we really want to hear from you. We want to hear your questions. We want to hear your comments. There's a chat area below the visual that you're seeing, and so it gives us an opportunity to hear the questions that you have, so please contribute. I can ask Gabby any question that you have, of course within means, but we want to get started to hear more about how Gabby has created such a meteoric rise in the industry, her thoughts on women's leadership, and how she can share her insights with you, as well as what's going on at GAD Marketing Communications and how we can learn from that and help support everyone's journey in the business. So welcome, Gabby, to our conversation.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you. I'm so excited to share multicultural insights, and really you're an amazing leader, and I'm very excited to hopefully help you thrive further.
That's fabulous. Well, to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about your role? There are some people that may or may not be familiar with the industry. We want to get them kick-started with some good insights on what the role that you have there is and what GAD specializes in.
Well, basically, I love strategy. So for me, it's really always been about being a cultural strategist. I'm the founder of GAD, started the agency as a boutique about almost 4 years ago, and we specialize on the emerging upscale Hispanic market. But within my role, what I've seen in the last 25 years is that I truly believe that cultural insights is what drives me, and also developing very strong relationships with the client. And when we talk about our agency, and what I personally have as a passion point is nurturing relationships, which to me I think are truly the fundamental success of any agency. You're really an extension of the client business. So here at our agency, we basically develop communications campaigns on behalf of corporate clients that are interested in getting more involved in the Hispanic market, but truly trying to market to the upscale, the sort of the coming of age segment that we're seeing across America today.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your major clients and just a few minutes on some of the major campaigns that you've been involved in with them?
Well, I'll give you a bit of historical, if you don't mind. Being in the business, and I probably will date myself a bit, but I've been in the business almost 27 years. And we've been very fortunate, actually. Our creative director, which is my creative partner, she and I have been working together for 27 years, if you can believe that. And through that historical, we've had the benefit of working on brands such as regional players like Public Supermarkets that were very dear to us because we had the benefit of working on that business for 23 years. And basically building it from the ground up in terms of understanding and becoming a leader in the Hispanic market, as well as Johnny Walker Black Label. That was a huge pivotal moment in our career because through the career of being in an independent agency, as we continue to be an independent agency, we had the benefit of working with global agencies, and we were the only independent agency back then when it was called the IAC Group, and had the benefit of developing global platforms that basically were linked up with the global strategy and masculine progress. One of the clients that we currently have is Amscott Financial, which is a Florida-based client, and we're very excited because they've decided to enter the Hispanic market, and we're basically bringing it from the ground up in developing an overall brand strategy for them to be the leader in the marketplace here in Florida.
That's fabulous. Congratulations, and you don't look a day over 25. Thank you very much. I know that your agency did some research on upscale Hispanic Latinos, and we have some content on Thrive for the viewers to get more information on. But can you tell us a little bit more about what initiated that and how you find it being used currently?
Okay, well, basically, the Upscale Hispanic Study came about for us as an agency. It's very important as part of our key vision is to redefine Hispanic America. So we find that, again, there's a market within a market that needs to be spoken to and also provide a halo effect overall in terms of where the Hispanic market is going. So that concept basically was brought to AHA, which I belong to, the Association of Hispanic Marketers. It's the voice of Hispanic marketing. And with partners such as AHA, Nielsen, as well as Santiago Solutions Group, we developed and formalized an overall study, which includes 2 waves in basically understanding who this consumer is. And at this point, what we found and unveiled during the last 2 years is that 40% of the Hispanic market is currently considered an upscale segment, where that would be constituted by a household that basically has an earning of 50 to 100,000. We wanted to start in the middle. And basically, they represent 30% of the total buying power in the U.S. For Hispanic buying power in general.
Fabulous. Is there any number or great factoid that would surprise us about upscale Hispanics?
Well, one of the things that we did find is in our second wave, we addressed the level of optimism and also looked at premium cosmetics as well as casual dining. And we found that, in fact, the overall upscale Hispanic versus the non-Hispanic upscale, there was a greater incidence of visitations with casual dining, and as well when we talked about premium cosmetics, there was also a greater purchasing rate and potential to purchase in the future among that upscale Hispanic. So there are definitely certain categories that would probably have a huge success rate if they would target the upscale Hispanic market at this point.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to get the word out even more and help those marketers generate a lot more business. So I want to turn the conversation a little bit to women in leadership. I know it's a huge passion point for you, and I wanted to get a sense of why that's so important, and what are you seeing in the marketplace right now about women in leadership, particularly Hispanic women?
Well, first I'm going to thank you, because I think that you, I really believe you inspired me to think about this owning your truth and owning your successes. And when you and I had several conversations, that really just came to mind when talking about thriving. And when I talk about owning your truth, and you and I have spoken about this at length, is that women in general, and I believe multicultural women in general, is your diversity is your asset. And one of the things that I've been honored and blessed, and I'm very thankful for, is that I've always been extremely proud of being a Hispanic woman. And I was raised in a multi-ethnic household. My parents are from 2 different countries. My mother's from Uruguay, my father's from Spain. And for me, having that perspective was always an asset. So when you own your truth, is own the diversity, there's differences that in fact make you unique, and that allows you to, it empowers you. Also, when you own your truth, as women, it's okay to own your failures. Failures give you confidence, and you and I spoke about this with regards to the gender roles, where men oftentimes in society are seen as leaders because of their failures, whereas women are not basically allowed to fail. So I think we've come to a point, especially with the younger generation, where we're almost really equal to a point mentally, and it's okay to own some of those failures because that gives you strength in the long haul. So when we talk about owning our successes, one of the things that we find is that women, because we enjoy being in collaborative efforts, we enjoy nurturing, we enjoy giving the other person recognition, we need to start owning some of those successes. We know that we've been the visionaries in certain areas. We've been the leaders in maybe addressing areas that have not been considered in the past. And it's okay if we're following through the project, let's say, but let's take ownership of that leadership, that insight, and even if in fact some of our greatest assets it is about nurturing. One of the things that I wrote down as a note is that there's certain successes that may not be the norm, but there still are successes, and we should in fact share that with everyone.
Well, thank you. That was awesome. We do have a question, but I wanted to just complete this thought. I think we've talked about this. I don't really believe in the concept of failing. I think that it's all a learning and it's all great. So as a leader that's had many years of success, can you point to some time that you stepped out in a place of possible fear, maybe not, but a possible risk, and had some learning that you can share and how you are able to turn that around?
Well, in terms of transitioning business models, I believe that was a huge risk, basically having to start from the ground up again. Was a huge risk, but what I found in that learning is that as women, we need to surround ourselves with a hub of professionals that are basically our allies. I believe that we have a greater opportunity to also reach out for greater mentors and individuals that can help us in certain areas of growth. And also there was an opportunity where, in fact, looking back, some of my fears in trying to not impact other people's lives basically did not allow me to take the risk.
For example, can you change the names to protect the innocent, but share a little bit more?
To protect the innocent, right. Oftentimes we maybe as women basically are always thinking ahead. So we're always focusing on consequences of actions, and sometimes even if there are consequences, we need to weigh the balance. We basically need to balance the risk. And sometimes women, and speaking on my end, obviously not generalizing, is that we just allow for the consequence to take over the huge potential in the long run.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes a lot of sense. I want to make sure we don't lose some of the questions and keep our audience engaged. We have a question going back to the upscale Hispanic research that you've done around cosmetics and the Hispanic female. So the question is, do you think that upscale Hispanics would respond to products specifically targeted to them, for example, a line of cosmetics tailored to Hispanics, or is it more about repositioning existing products such as Lancome to target that market? What are your thoughts about that?
I believe it's about repositioning. It's like any, one of the things that we say with multicultural marketing is that you've got to think as a marketer as a new product rollout. So oftentimes marketers will spend a lot of money and a lot of years thinking about a new product rollout, but when it comes to the multicultural, they don't give it the same importance. So in understanding your product SKUs, there may be an opportunity to actually select certain products that would do better. There may be an opportunity to just reposition the brand. There may be an opportunity to actually focus more on the premium product than it is on the middle product, on the middle market product. So specific just to the Hispanic, yes, we come in all colors, and that may be an opportunity. But I think it's really more about understanding the brand, the portfolio, and how to really position it in the marketplace.
Awesome. Do you think, can you name any brands that you think do a really great job or can use more thought around that?
Well, I mean, you've got mid-tier brands like the Lancomes, and you know, obviously you've got your what do you call it, the convenience type of the cover girls. But if you start thinking of the Cliniques, more of the, you know, even Bobbi Brown, there's certain brands that if they would work a little harder, they could definitely tap into the more upscale Hispanic woman.
Awesome.
Because also we have to, and just to, if I can speak to this, Carol, is also understanding the category affinities, and it starts there. So if there's a category affinity and then understanding why that category affinity exists, then you can start developing your overall brand strategy, but you have to take into account that multicultural insight.
Thank you. That was really helpful. So while we're on the topic of women in leadership in this industry, I think one of the things that we've talked about are the Hispanic agencies, and I think they're all going through a bit of a transformation around total market and where the Hispanic marketing budgets are going. Can you speak on the topic of Hispanic leader females in this industry, and why do you think they are doing well? What are some of the things that you're hearing in this space?
Specific to Hispanic women or to Hispanic agencies?
Both.
Okay. Well, since I started a while back, it was interesting. When I first started in the industry, there were a lot more Hispanic female CEOs, and they were independent owners. And especially regionally, from a Florida perspective, most of the large agencies were all started by Hispanic women. And it's interesting to see almost 30 years later that there's been a shift where now you're seeing a predominance of more men, which I find very interesting. And I believe women will start emerging, but maybe they're looking at other opportunities, or maybe they're going more into global companies and not necessarily starting their own business. The whole conversation of Hispanic marketing and Hispanic agencies, to me, at the end of the day, you need to understand that what comes from within ultimately is going to be your strength. So when you've got agencies that are managing every type of segment, you can't be everything to everyone. And there's no way that that DNA of that agency can really identify and address the complexities of this emerging majority that we call multicultural. So with that said, you still need, and I wouldn't even want to call it ethnic agencies, but it's truly understanding that you've got to have representation of the different segments across the entire operational scheme of your agency. Because if not, as we all know, whatever drives the power will remain there. And I'd like to also make reference to this, which in my personal experience, I really sort of by default fell into Hispanic marketing when I worked part-time at Carnival Cruise Lines while going to college full-time. I had the benefit of, when I graduated, to interview with a very large agency that was at that time considered Anglo, and it was McFarland and Dreyer. And then I had the opportunity to interview with this very small shop that was a Hispanic-owned agency. I wasn't prepared or said, oh, I want to be a Hispanic marketer. I just wanted to be a marketer. But in hindsight, I'm so thankful that happened to me, because as I'd like to quote Malcolm Gladwell, sometimes it's good to be a big fish in a small pond. And it allows for us to basically really thrive and build on that confidence, because we are a big fish in a smaller pond, and you're able to learn a lot more. And I believe that that will continue to resonate with multicultural agencies.
Well, thank you for sharing that. We have about 1 more minute left, and we had a question on mentoring, but I was wondering, one of the last things I always want to ask a guest are what is it specifically that helps you to thrive? I don't know if you can build both of those answers into one in the 1 minute that we have left, but how would you answer that?
What helps me to thrive is that I'd like to listen. I reach out to my confidants and really try to listen for advice. Mentorship at a business level, at a legal level is critical. And also understanding that my clients also become my mentors. I bounce a lot of things off of former clients and existing clients because we have that level of transparency. And when you have that type of trust and relationship, you're able to truly grow together. So that's one of the advices that I would also give not only to women leaders, but also to multicultural agencies and working with their clients and how they can leverage that relationship through mentorship.
Well, thank you, Gabby. This was fabulous. We really appreciate you spending time with us in our Thrive Talk, and we want to say thank you to our incredible underwriting sponsor, Microsoft, for supporting us in this initiative. I hope you all have gotten some great insight and information. Please feel free to continue to ask questions. I'll ask Gabby to respond on Thrive so that you can get some responses to the questions that you have. Join us next Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time again. We will be having Ahmad Islam, who is a managing partner in the newly formed Common Ground MGS partnership that everybody's excited about. So thank you all and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you, Carol.